listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Now, there's no worries about our special guest today being typecast in the acting world. I mean, my gosh, she's played a calculating teenage prostitute on Days of Our Lives, a tough Irish detective on NYPD Blue, and now an uptight mom who kind of likes a little vodka on hit show Glee. But when it comes to animals, she always plays one role masterfully. She's a dedicated advocate, and I want everyone to give pause and applause to two-time Emmy-nominated actress Charlotte Ross. Hey, Charlotte, big pause up.
Hi. Oh, I love that intro. You're so sweet. Thank you. Gosh.
You're welcome. You're very well deserving because you've got amazing acting range. But I have to give you a major pause up for what you do for shelter and rescue groups, big and small, all over the planet. And I want all the listeners to really stay tuned to hear what Charlotte's latest pet projects are. You're going to have to confess what you're doing in a 3D movie, if you want to, that's coming up. It's Ray Liotta. And we're going to cover a lot more after we pay for this show by taking a commercial break. So, hey, everybody, sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones, actually. Sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTREETRAY.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now, back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Our special guest is actress Charlotte Ross. You are everywhere these days, seriously. Your TV,
really?
Pet causes. I mean, not bad for a gal from Winnetka, Illinois.
So where are you from? You're from near Winnetka or where?
Crown Point, Indiana, home of Dillinger.
Awesome.
He escaped from our inescapable jail, taking a bar of soap, shoe polish, making it black, carving it into a shape of a gun, and confusing our Sheriff Holly years ago. So that's what Crown Point is known for. What's Winnetka known for?
Oh, I don't know. They've always said that comment, big noise from Winnetka. It was a wonderful, idyllic place to be raised. And, a lot of characters that are kind of like the character that I play in Glee. And I say that with lovingly, respect. But there's a lot of wonderful people. It was a great place to be raised. So I really enjoyed my time there.
Now, were you a cheerleader, a super nerd? What were you in high school?
I was a pom-pom girl, yes.
Oh,
but I was very driven, though. I knew I wanted to be an actress since I was 2, and it was kind of a blessing and a curse because people kind of looked down on you, kind of like, are you really going to do that for a living? And it's understandable because it's a very hard living to try to make it in a career like that. And California seemed very daunting at the time, coming from Winnetka, Illinois. And although my parents appreciated the arts, it was it was very foreign to them. So my dad went to Princeton and Harvard, and I was kind of expected to go down that route as most of my family did. But I had an agent when I was like 13, did my first movie when I was 14. I was making a living on commercials and things like that. And I tested for like 6 series before I moved out to California after I graduated high school. It was between me and Christina Applegate for Married with Children when they said,
oh, really?
New network coming called Fox. And I remember I was like, we don't need a new network. Like I knew anything. So that's how long I've been doing it. Yeah. And then I got on Days of Our Lives like a few months after I graduated from New Trier High School. And then I've been very blessed to just continue working for so many years. I think that in and of itself is something to be, successful about, because it's just working, much less continually different shows. I'm just thankful that I'm still around.
Well, I'm glad you're not Grandma Charlotte Ross. You're still, a lot of guys turn their heads
let me correct you. I am Grandma because my daughter on Glee had a baby. So I'm Grandma.
That's right. Quinn, right?
Quinn, exactly. She had a baby in the season finale, and so I joked that, I'm a grandma. I'm also doing some other roles recently that aren't very grandma-like, but yes.
Well, let's get it. But let's go back to for a second, because my favorite clip of you, I swear, they must have taped your eyebrows arched up. You're at the tape with your husband, and Finn is singing "Having My Baby," which I will never be against. I'm for singing with Quinn, your daughter, and you two are looking across going, "Ruh-roh." So what did you think of that moment? That was really great acting on your part.
You are so funny. I love your little ruh-roh. I love that you pointed that out, because honestly I think some of the best moments on camera or really in life are some things that are unsaid, and it's just with the eyes. And that's true with drama or comedy. And, the character I play, Judy Fabray, is just such a joy to play. She's kind of Ann Coulter times 1,000. And, St. John wearing Tea Party overblown kind of extremist, really. But it's kind of her environment, and again, I know some people like that, and I think that it's kind of a closed-minded way to view the world. And Ryan Murphy is such a visionary who writes and creates the show, that he's able to find that comedy in the darkness, which I find so interesting. So I was just really excited to be a part of the show, and then the show blew up. And nowadays, to have a show be so successful in such a short amount of time is so rare, and it's really a testament to the cast and to Ryan Murphy. And of course, now every superstar is literally campaigning to be on the show. It's amazing.
You do your role nicely. It isn't like you're trying to overdo, look at me, because there are a zillion people in the Glee cast, wouldn't you say? And it's just, you capture that. It's a cast of zillions. I mean, seriously.
It really is. I saw Jocelyn Jessling recently. I think I'm pronouncing her name incorrectly. She actually replaced me for a short while on NYPD Blue. It's so funny. But I said, how are you doing? How's the show? And she's like, she's a full-out regular on the show. She's Matthew Morrison's, I think, wife on the show. She's like, I'm really not on that much. It's a big cast. So, it's a big cast for even the regulars. And then they have people like Madonna and Elton John that are calling that want to be on. So I think a lot of people really just want to be a part of the show. So I'm definitely not on every week, but I do love my character. And when Quinn wants to come home, I'm there.
Yeah, your hubby, man. Boy, he sure just turned on both of you quickly. The role, not the actor. Kind of
gives an idea of what it's like to be kind of the insufferable, quiet wife that has her husband lead the way kind of thing, and how stifling it is. So I was really happy to get the script when I left him. Woohoo!
That was power to the brides.
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
In real life, though, you're happily married. You have a little boy and a couple of dogs. Let's talk about them.
Well, I'm not married.
Oh, pardon me. Well, we'll edit that out.
That's okay. I'm very good friends. In
Okay.
real life, I'm very good friends with my ex-husband. We're very good friends. It's okay. That's what happens.
Yeah, turn around and they're friends.
You know what? It wasn't a long marriage, so you're not off.
Okay. Good.
No, we were married for about 3.5 years. My son is 6.5, and we co-parent, and my son is a big animal lover, which I love.
This is Max, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
I love that name. I love that name. So when you say he's a big animal lover, give us a little bit of an example of that.
Well, sometimes children rarely make a choice to be vegetarian on their own, and my son was playing with a chicken at the nursery school and came home and didn't want to eat chicken, and he kind of couldn't correlate why he would play with one and then have it on his table. And he looked at me and said, I'm a vegetarian. And he says it to his friend. And by the way, it's a big thing to choose to do on your own when you're a child, where a lot of kids might make fun of you when they're having their hot dogs and hamburgers. He puffs out his chest and says, I'm a vegetarian. It's very, very cute. And I'm a vegetarian myself most of the time, but it wasn't something I imposed on him. He kind of chose to do that. That's number one. Number two, we just did a fundraiser at his school for a charity that I'm a spokesperson for called Operations Blankets of Love that seems very simplistic but does such extraordinary work in saving animals' lives. And it's very easy to do because it can get kind of daunting, when you know how many animals are put down in these local city and county shelters. It's kind of overwhelming, but there's something small you can do that can make a big difference. So at his school, it was so cute. We did a blanket and towel and toy drive, like used blankets and used towels and such. And it's a good way for kids to learn to give back, number one. But number two, we brought in a shelter dog for them to see. And I think most people innately love animals. It's just educating them. And what happens is these shelters sometimes, as you know, most likely, is that they have a 3-day or 7-day turnaround before they're euthanized. And a lot of these dogs are very healthy and adoptable dogs, and they don't have money or funding to publicize, so not as many people as they need or should come through there. So sometimes having one or two people pass by a dog in a crowded cell is their only shot of being rescued, i.e. saved. And
Right.
if they're cold and skittish and scared and cowering, they might not seem like the dog you want to bring home to your family. Whereas if they have a blanket and they're comfortable and they're happy and relaxed, or even a little toy, you can maybe see the joy that they have to offer and how cute they are and how much love they have to give, and they actually have a chance of being adopted, and therein lies some real saving of lives. So it's a really wonderful organization that is spreading throughout the United States right now. And Max was all excited to be involved, and all the kids were excited to be involved, and we showed them a video of what happened with the dog's demeanor when it changed once we put in something in the crate. And that was true with the cats as well, because almost
we can't mess up.
Yeah. Put down.
Don't
Well,
forget
even,
the kitties.
The higher percentage of cats is even more tragic because of the lack of spaying and neutering, as I'm sure you know. But it's like 50% of adoptable cats are put down. The ratio is extraordinary. So anyway, it's a great organization that people, if they're really busy and don't have time and feel overwhelmed, everybody has old towels and blankets and that kind of thing, and it can really make a big difference. So
Now, how do people learn more about Operation Blanket of Love? I know the co-founders are a husband and wife, Eileen and Brad.
Yes. Very good. Yes. You just go to operationsblanketsoflove.org, and it's all right there. And it's, again, something that anybody can do in their local cities. And it's really a wonderful, wonderful thing to do that can make a difference,
I think this will give new meaning to throw in the towel. You might save a life. There you go. There's your.
That's
there's
good.
Your gift.
I like that. You need your own comedy show.
My gosh, seriously, you could do a whole campaign. Throw in the towel, save a life. There you go.
I kind of like that. I wonder if they've said that.
I don't know. I have these little bubbles in my head, and sometimes they come out. But I think that was my Purdue graduation. I was like communication major at an engineering school, so it was a little weird to be that way.
Well,
but
I'm trying to think how you can coincide throw in the towel to save
a
lives. But I'm sure there's throw in a towel and save a life. Oh my gosh, there's our new motto.
There's
really
your new motto. Please let them know.
It. I will.
And I will throw in the towels that I have at my house. I have 2 dogs and 2 cats. I call them my furry Fab Four. And one of them's a surfer. I would say a cat, but it's the dog. And they go with me when I give talks all over the country and help people understand that they're all from the streets. And wow. Let's talk about your 2 dogs. They're pretty amazing. I mean, even Tyler has his own website. Does he know how to type? Or what's up?
Tyler is Mutt of the Year. I'm getting the
that's
program.
right.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No, listen. My boyfriend jokes that Tyler thinks, he's a little stuck up lately. He kind of knows that he's kind of important. We kind of joke. No, I love that my dogs are doing it because I really do think my dogs are emblematic of why rescue dogs do make the best pets. Taco was a dog that I found on the streets of Puerto Rico. I've done a few movies there, and it's kind of like when you go to Mexico or places of that ilk where you see these homeless dogs, they're dying and they're covered in mange, and it's really hard to desensitize yourself as you're vacationing in paradise to what happens. And a lot of people can't go to these places without coming back with dogs. And so I used to feed them on my day off, and I brought home 4 or 5 dogs, and I had them with their shots and everything and found them homes, and I ended up keeping Taco. And I think I got Taco about 15 years ago
My gosh.
Yeah. He's you know what? He's 15 and a half years old. Taco is going strong. I mean, he's a little crickety. He's got a little bit of an old man's sensibility, but he's a perfect example because he had been fending on the streets to survive, and it's very difficult. And to acclimate a dog like that into your home takes some patience and some love, but the truth is once they realize it's consistent, I'm sure you know this, and they see that the food is there and the love is there, and they become the most forever grateful, most loyal, loving animals you could ever have in your life. And since then, I've gone to Puerto Rico a few times and have rescued a few more dogs. My brother joked that I shouldn't bring home a burrito. He doesn't whenever I go there. He's worried I'm going to bring home.
That would be like a dachshund or something. It's got to be like a long-back dog.
I know. Well, a lot of the dogs there are small. And I just had lunch with Rosalind Sanchez, who's a really wonderful actress, and she's from Puerto Rico, and we're talking about maybe doing a documentary or doing something to bring more awareness to Puerto Rican culture about what you can do a little bit more for your homeless dogs and such. And then Tyler's from the South Central LA shelter, and his name was Tyson, so obviously his previous owner liked boxing. I changed it to Tyler. And I got a large-sized dog, so I feel like they're put down on a higher percentage than the smaller dogs sometimes. Not Chihuahuas, but
he looks like he's got
dogs.
a little GSP in him, and what else? What's he got? German short-hair pointer, maybe?
I've heard pointer quite a bit.
Yeah, because the way the little flecks of liver spots, if you will, on the legs, that's usually in the face.
Yeah, I love the spots of it. Well, you know, a lot of people think he's kind of a purebred, too, sometimes. So the truth is these shelters, as you know, have some beautiful... It's a cliche that people think that they don't have beautiful dogs, and they don't have sweet dogs. I mean, they really have the most amazing dogs. And Taco and Tyler's are being put down every day in these shelters. So I just wish that there was no-kill shelters, and that Tyler is my son's best friend, and he wouldn't hurt a fly. He's just the most docile, sweet dog in the world, and I'm glad he's Mutt of the Year because I think he's a good poster child for it.
Yeah, and how did he?
Sweet.
Yeah, let's talk about how did he get Mutt of the Year? Does he have his own PR campaign, or what's
He had
going
a
on?
campaign. He did some really nice photo shoots, some over the shoulder, some in the pool. And he campaigned hard, did a lot of red carpet events, and finally he was crowned. No, he's just, I don't know. We lucked out. I think that I did a spread for Pet Home magazine, and Colleen, who runs the magazine, has this thing called Mutt of the Year. And what happens is kids learn more about mutts. They draw the pictures of the Mutt of the Year, so we get all these drawings of Tyler. It's just a really cute way to bring more awareness of how wonderful mutts can be.
Well, I think you can learn more. Tyler has his own website off of your website. It's okay to, like, charlotteross.com/something, but...
you can just go to charlotteross.com, yes.
And then noodle around and you'll find
funny
Tyler's.
when you say that. I feel like Taco's being left out, actually.
You know, Taco is secure in his wisdom of life, you know. He's like, let the little one, let the youngster go for it. I don't care. I'm going to cuddle. I'm going to be on a blanket and rest, you know.
Yeah,
And
he's done. He doesn't want to primp anymore.
okay, well, he's done his primping. He's earned it. Everybody, we're speaking with Charlotte Ross. She is doing great guns for dogs and pets, cats. I've looked at a whole bunch of things you've been doing. We're also going to talk a little bit about what's going to come up for you with movies with wonderful Nicolas Cage after we take a short commercial break. So everybody, sit and stay. We're going to be right back.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. All Behave will be back in a flash right after these messages.
If you ask the question, what do I want? What do I need? I'll take affection. I really should mention I need time. I need love. I crave attention. Listen to waiting by the door. With shaking tails and happy hearts. And running circles round the floor. That's always when the party starts. Oh, they are my friends. They are my children. They are the furry goodness and drinks. They are my family. They understand me. That's how I love my pets.
I Love My Pets, the new single by Mark Winter, available on iTunes.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets.
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hey, this is Allie Sweeney from Pigs Are Alive and The Biggest Loser, and you're listening to Arden Moore on the Obie Hayes Show on Pet Life Radio.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to Obie Hayes. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the Obie Hayes Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore, and I love that, Charlotte, you're a giggler. I like that.
I'm giggling because you're funny. You're
Oh,
really funny.
really? Yeah, well,
You like sit and hold your paw. I mean, all your euphemisms are very, very
I know
funny.
my friends, I don't sit up nights creating them. It actually comes out of my mouth. So, people sometimes know French and Spanish and, Portuguese. I guess I know pet. So
that's
who
why
I
I'm
am.
laughing. It's cute. I love it.
Well, I'm interested. You have such range as an actress, so I wanted to get back. Let's do a couple of talks about. First of all, I have to ask you about NYPD Blue because you're back in the news. I remember years ago, you were Detective Andy Sipowitz's girlfriend. I think it was Connie McDowell. And
We actually got married. We had a shotgun wedding. I think I was
that's
pregnant.
right. That's right. He was so sweating. I remember all that. But you bared your buns back in 2003. Now, bring us up. What's happened now at the FCC?
So it's so interesting and almost bizarre. It just came down yesterday in the federal courts. Well, what happened was I had done, if anybody had seen it, a scene, yes, where I showed my complete butt, ass, or whatever you want to call it. But I wasn't the first. I mean, there was, as you know, a handful of men before me on that show, and Kim Delaney before I had done that. But, I guess it was on the more graphic side. I don't love those kind of scenes. It was nerve-wracking, but it was fine. And it's TV standards and practices, so you can't show too much. And, I mean, you can show a lot, but there's specifics that you can't. And what it was Andy Sipowitz's son mistakenly walking in on me, getting out of the shower in the bathroom and catching me. And what happened was it aired in reruns, not in the scheduled late prime time in the United States in different areas. And so the FCC, years later, I'd already had my son was off the show, sued Disney ABC for $1.4 million, quote, over my ass is what they kept saying in the press.
Well, maybe how many people can say ass is worth over $4 million? I mean, that's a kind
No, you're going too high. They just said 1.4.
Oh, one. Sorry.
I'll go up to 4. No. So anyway, what happened was listen, that's not a lot of money to ABC. It was more of a point that everybody wanted to make. And that what happened was ABC lost and they had to pay the FCC $1.4 million. Years have gone by and everyone's been really upset. The truth is network television is losing lots of audience members to the Showtimes and the HBOs, number one. Number two, it was really more of it was a gray area as to how explicit or not it was, and it was never really defined because, as I said, there were other scenes like it before. And so yesterday in the New York Federal Appeals Court, they overturned that decision. And so my ass again is in the news. I mean, my ass is more famous than me, really.
Well,
it's true.
You also have bared your buns for bunnies. I mean, let's talk about the PETA.
My ass is this recurring theme. Yes, I did a PETA campaign.
Right.
And in my campaign for PETA, I said I'd rather show my buns than more fur. And I was holding the bunny in front of my breasts, and you can, there again was my ass. And I was very proud, though, to do that campaign because I really believe in PETA, and I thought they were really wonderful. And my ass is about to come on screen again in 3D.
Wait a minute, this is the trifecta of butts. Okay, so what are you going to be doing?
You would never guess that I'm actually quite a shy, good mother with all the ass talk that I'm doing, considering the movie that's coming out. So the movie that's coming out, I was shooting in conjunction with Judy Fabray on Glee, which was such a fun dichotomy because, as you know, Judy Fabray is, as I said, Ann Coulter times 1,000. And then I was shooting a movie called Drive Angry opposite Nicolas Cage in Shreveport, Louisiana, where I play this covered in tattoos, very damaged Southern, thick accent, very horny gal that comes across Nick Cage, and I'm not 20 anymore, and I did full frontal, and I always said I would only do that if it was the right kind of role, that kind of cliche thing a lot of actors sometimes say, at least I did, and when the right role comes along, I'll do it, because I've passed on a lot. Well, I really wanted to do this role, so that's coming out, Summit Pictures is coming out February 11th. And so my ass will be out there again in 3D.
In 3D. I'll have to buy I guess I'm going to have to pony up and buy the glasses because, I'll check it out. But, I'll...
You don't have to. My family asked when it's coming out. I told them I don't know.
But the point is, I don't know, that's quite a range to be uptight by day and horny white trash by night.
I know, exactly. And I'm glad you pointed that out because honestly, that's my favorite thing. If I was to... My dream job is really to play very character-y, very different from me, very varied roles. And so those two are a perfect example of what I love doing, kind of the extremes like that. And so I love that. I mean, they're just totally different people and all their beliefs and all their wants and needs. And to play either of those roles, I really had to change my whole mentality and kind of go for it in a sense.
I guess when you're auditioning or being considered for different roles, isn't that an asset? Now, there's a pun again, asset, about being able to be the actress that can kind of move in and out of roles a lot like this?
I agree. I mean, to me, you're right. That's a no-brainer. I think so. But the truth is, because I came from soap operas years ago and because I have blonde hair and whatever you deem my look to be, sometimes people don't see me as a lot of the roles I want to play. Okay. So I actually embrace my age and embrace getting older because chasing being younger is a losing battle, number one. Number two, if all you are is really how you look, whether you're in this business or not, it's kind of a sad way to go through life. And lastly, the kind of roles that really interest me are not characters that just have to look pretty. They're character roles. So, but a lot of times I have to prove myself in different arenas to get the roles I want to play. Sound like it since I'm showing my ass again, but it's true.
But you're having to be this character. I mean, you've come a long way since Illinois Dream Girl in 1987, right?
Well, you're pulling them out of a hat. Yes, I was. I'm this Dream Girl. Yeah. I used to think that would help me get in the business.
You know what I think would be better is that, are you still in Taebo? Are you still a Taebo instructor?
Oh, yes. Well, right. I'm a workout freak.
Well, my feeling is this. If they didn't give you any crap, you're like, I'll take you on in Taebo for a role. How about that? You'd probably win slam dunk.
So I'm just a big believer in working out. I actually really love it. It does more for me emotionally and mentally, and my body is in better physical shape now than it ever was in my 20s or even my early 30s. It's really...
Well, that's great. And you're 80 now?
Wow, I'm just about 82.
Yeah, good. Well, you know what?
Is that how I'm making it sound? Oh, God.
No, you're fine. You're cool. You're always going to be ageless wonder. You're okay.
I'll say my age. I have no problem. I'm 42, and I'm proud.
I like that. Well, I mean, look at some of the roles that like Judi Dench and Helen Mirren. I mean, there's some awesome women out there now that are coming back and doing wonderful work. So I am so glad to see that because you've got 40 more years before you're in their stratosphere. About that.
I just saw a private screening last night of Conviction with Hilary Swank and some extraordinary actresses. And it was so nice to see, just because we're on this subject, it was so nice to see all the movement in their face. I know it sounds maybe odd, but in L.A. particularly, you get so used to looking around and seeing these kind of frozen
I know.
faces.
It's like the Joker from Batman faces without the white paint. They just freeze.
It's true. And you start thinking, wow, do I look really weird because I'm not like that? But when you see Hilary Swank and all these people in this movie last night, you can't play these characters that are in different parts of the United States with any realism. First of all, if you can't see the expressions, but number two, if they can't afford those kind of things. And it was just, I think there's something beautiful, even when you're on the big screen, about seeing natural aging. There's something very kind of scary when you can turn on TV and you're seeing a show and the actress is upset and she is. Her eyes seem like it, but nothing else is moving. It's frustrating.
You're good. Well, so keeping in shape is very important for you with the Taebo. So I have one for you. I go every week with my 2 dogs to Leash Your Fitness. It's a class where you work out with your dog. Cardio, resistance, yoga. You're leaping over the hurdles with the dogs. You're holding a squat position while the dog has to be in a down or a sit. And if they don't, and I have a joker dog named Chipper, she sometimes knows every command. She'll just look over at me, start grin, and pop out of the sit. And then I have to do push-ups. So
if she doesn't hold her sit, you have to do your push-ups?
Yeah. And I think all the dogs kind of talk in class and go, who are we going to pick on today? Oh, let's get Arden. Yeah, she's been doing everything right. Let's. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say sit and stay? I didn't remember that. Oh, there goes
Thinking
Arden.
my mom needs to get those arms built. I think it's a really good concept that they do that because sometimes we go work out and our poor dogs are lonely and getting heavy sitting at home.
Yeah, well, my friend started, her name's Dawn Salapino, and she's a fitness trainer. She got a Karen Terrier named Jack, and she got tired of leaving him while she worked with clients and went to the gym. So she started bringing the clients outside with her dog, and the next thing you know, she's created this whole thing in San Diego, where I live, of Leash Your Fitness. That's pretty cool.
And does your dog like it, you think?
Oh, my gosh. My two dogs, Chipper and Cleo, a 12-pounder and a 60-pounder, they go in the back of my SUV. And when I say agility, because my one dog used to do agility, I say, Chipper, we're going to agility. They squeal like little girls.
Now, what kind of dog is your 60-pounder?
She is a golden retriever husky. If you can say, where's my vacuum, she will come. And then I have a little 12-pounder named Cleo, who is a mystery mutt, everything. She surfs. I didn't know she was going to. She came from me when she was about 5. She was from the streets. And you go to Four-Legged Life, F-O-U-R, leggedlife.com, and you will know more than you ever want to know about Arden Moore and her Furry Fab 4, because that's my pet community.
Well, here you are making fun of my Tyler Mutt of the Year, and it sounds like you have your own site there about all your dogs. That sounds great.
Yeah, they're great. And my two cats, they're kind of celebrities. I have a cat that came from Dallas. Her name was Edwina. Apologies to anybody listening named Edwina. I just can't have a cat named Edwina. So,
wow, that is a big name for a cat.
Yeah, she's a part Turkish van, and somebody, when she was running around as a stray, grabbed her and took a big chunk out of her back with a hunting knife. She fought him off, became the darling of the Dallas News. They had a big reward. I ended up adopting her because I'm editor of a cat magazine named Catnip, and it isn't about smoking it. It's actually through Tufts University, so it's kind of hoity-toity magazine. Anyway, so I brought her home, and I renamed her in honor of her Turkish heritage, Ziki, which means clever and courageous.
Oh,
and also,
that's such a cute name.
And then I can go, oh, Ziki, you're so fine, you'll blow my mind, Ziki. Which, with cat dignity, they're like, I'm leaving the room now.
Your cats and dogs get along okay?
Oh, yeah. They love each other. I've written 2 books, 19 books, but 2 behavior books, one on dog and one on cat. I'm a goofball, but I actually am serious about what I do. So, I help people understand how to have harmony in their households, why cats are like they are and dogs are like they are, and you can have a furry Brady bunch and everybody can get along. So that's what I do.
Oh, I think that's so important because sometimes it's something so simple and people don't know how to do it or how to try to do it, and we'll bring that animal back to a shelter when really there was just a little shift that needed to be made, and that could have saved the animal's life. I think it's so important. When you bring in a shelter animal or an animal from the streets, you got to be patient. You got to be clear, consistent, and concise because you know what? Every day, every week that passes, I see changes like at the 3-month, 6-month mark where all of a sudden, if the dog could, they almost like put their paw against their forehead going, shoo! This is it. This is my permanent home. But until then, they're just kind of like walking on eggshells. They're not quite sure. And then they start letting you see who they really are. And with Cleo, my little dog from the streets, I had no idea she would want to surf. When I got her, she was just shaking and trembling. And now she's like, where's the surfboards? She's just hanging. How did you find that out? Well, I slowly made her feel safe. I mean, it took about a year just to make her feel safe. And I go out and do a lot of things in Southern California. And I brought her to the beach, the dog beaches, and they were doing a little dog surfing. And she was sitting on the board, and we would play with it on the sand, moving it up and down while she was on it. And she seems to hold it well, and she likes running in the water. And so when we just slowly got her acclimated, she graduated from dog surf school. Now, that isn't freaky. There is a dog surf school. So now Cleo... That had a graduation. Oh, yeah. It's pretty funny. I mean, I never had to buy a wetsuit until my dog decides to go. She's got a little, the little life jacket with the little handle on it. So it's great. If she falls off, you grab it. So, yeah, I have YouTube videos on my site. So, see, you're going to have to sniff around my site. The Four-Legged Life. I'm going to definitely do that. I have to see this. That is so cute. Well, I really am excited that you're doing a lot of great things for pets, Charlotte, and everybody. This is Charlotte Ross, the actress, and I was delighted when we were able to get you on the show.
And is there anything else you'd like? We got to go to charlotteross.com, but do some shout-outs, if you will, before we say goodbye on how people can help pets the way you do.
Oh, gosh, there's a bunch of things you can do. You can go to operationsblanketsoflove.org, which is a really wonderful organization. And there's also PETA, there's Jane Goodall's Institute. I mean, I could go on and on.
Okay.
Humane Society of the United States is really wonderful. I just think that the more you educate yourself, the more you'll want to get involved. And even if you don't have that much time, there's always one or two small things you can do that can make a big difference. And I was a real honor to be on your show, because whenever someone can help bring a voice to the voiceless, I think is something that is a gift. So thank you for including me on your show, and thank you to your listeners for wanting to be involved with helping animals. It's really, really needed.
Well, it's our honor, Charlotte. And I'm not Oprah, I can't give you a trip to Australia, but I would love to send you an autographed copy of my dog behavior answer book. I think you'd like it.
Oh, I love that.
I'm glad that we had Charlotte Ross on our show. She is awesome. Give her a big paws up. And I'm also thankful for my producer, Mark Winter. He makes this show happen each and every week. So until next time, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do, and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. All Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand. This is the place for a special paparazzi treat. Only on PetLifeRadio.com.